teachers were well aware that when we were doing Zoom calls, there could be a parent in the background. It is much worse when you have your students, when you drop them off at school and the doors are shut. There's no cameras in the classroom. So we only got a glimpse of what is actually happening, but at least we got that glimpse.
You are so right about that. And that brings us to really kind of the meat of this op-ed and your new mission in life. Really, Kali Fontanilla is with us. She's an educator. She taught for over 15 years in public and Christian schools. She's got a new online school, which we're going to tell you about. But before we get there, Kali, you, as you were teaching ESL classes and you were teaching these kids, you really came to know critical race theory. And for a lot of us, once those doors are shut, teachers say, oh, that doesn't exist. A lot of leftists will say critical race theory, that's nothing. That's a construct of the right. Is that true?
Yes, I actually get the line. Critical race theory is only in colleges. It's only in law school. It does not exist in K through 12 schools. I get that line all the time.
But it does, right? You saw it. You saw it in every lesson.
Lie. So, yeah, it is a complete lie. So the mainstream news has given it. They get it from the news. New York Times did a big article saying critical race theory is not in our schools. And I find it interesting that they are so upset when we try to ban it and they say it's not in our schools. But then they get so upset when when we try to ban it and call us white supremacists.
It doesn't make any sense. So now, when you were teaching in 2020 in the fall semester, you were teaching your ESL students English as a second language. You noticed that some of them were failing mandatory ethnic studies courses that were going on, and you started looking through some of the lessons. What did you find when you were going through them?
I found critical race theory from start to finish. So luckily, right now, they're trying to bury it and actually take the word critical race theory away. But in the lessons that I saw, my students were taught critical race theory explicitly. They were taught the definition. They were taught to analyze school policy through the critical race theory framework. And they were taught all of the tenets of critical race theory. They were taught decolonization, the 4 I's of oppression, intersectionality, dominant ideologies, hegemony. And this was a required class for all of the 9th grade students. So they had to pass this class and get this brain. And in fact, in the opening slide for my students, it said one of the objectives of the class was to teach our kids to be woke.
Wow.
We know what woke means. Woke is leftism. So
it's such a divisive thing to teach kids, that you're either the oppressed or the oppressor. You're holding people back by telling them they're never going to be something because of a systemic racism that was built into our culture.
It was so divisive that on day 5, my students were given a privilege quiz. So they were asked all of these personal questions and then were told to rank themselves against their classmates and see if they were on the top or on the bottom. This was on day 5.
Tell us about this online school. We're up against a break, Kali, and I want to get this out there because you took action. You didn't just get angry. You made a change, and we love getting people up off the couch. So what did you do, and how can people join you?
Yes, I'm starting a school. It's called Exodus Institute, and you can find information on it at thinkexodus.org. It's going to be K through 12. It is going to be online, but we will be offering live lessons online as well as supplemental lessons. And I also want to encourage parents to fight for academic transparency if they cannot pull their kids from online school, to make sure at least we are getting access to what is being taught to our kids online. And they can look for information on that at Goldwater Institute. But then also I am opening my own school, and they can find information on that at thinkexodus.org.
And this is it. If you are tired of public schools, if you're tired of what is being offered to your kids, forced on your kids, check it out. It's worth a look. Thinkexodus.org is the place to get information. Kali, I really admire you for taking action and getting up off the couch and fixing this, or offering a solution for parents and for kids. Thinkexodus.org. Kali Fontanilla, thank you so much for being with us today.